Welcome to the Mind Hiking Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and today I got my beautiful fiancé back on the podcast.
And it's also his birthday.
Not right now, but when this is released.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's your birthday weekend, so it's also technically your birthday right now.
Oh, my goodness. Birthday weekend.
Yeah, it's your birthday weekend, and then it finishes off with Monday being your birthday.
Okay. And then it's my birthday week.
Yeah.
And then it's my birthday month. Yeah, and my birthday year. Yeah. And my birthday life.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I love you.
Your birth life.
Yes. This is my birth life.
Mm-hmm. I love you.
I love you so much. Well, thank you for hopping on the Mind Hiking Podcast, and hopefully you guys enjoy. It's a good conversation. I love talking to you. You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're my life partner and my best friend.
Mm-mm.
You're so cute. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoy, and
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, and don't mind the dogs wrestling in the background. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and here we dive deep into difficult questions. We'll map out thoughts, theories, and crazy ideas for the love of knowledge and growth. So, how do we answer some of the mind's toughest questions? This is the Mind Hiking Podcast. You are good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, we are live.
Okay.
Welcome to the Mind Hiking Podcast, Catie.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You look as beautiful as ever.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
So, you are kicking butt, as always. You always are.
Yeah.
Tell me about your podcast.
Oh my
Season
goodness. 2. Yeah, which I didn't do this week because I got busy.
Yeah, you've been super busy.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, it works out because I do my podcast episodes on Thursdays, and it was Thanksgiving, so it was just like a little week off.
Yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's basically more of like, I'm on the spot. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I hate talking about myself.
No, you're totally fine. It's amazing. Definitely check it out. Start with the name.
So it's the Living Confidently podcast. I feel like you can barely hear me.
Yeah,
is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay. Do I still need to fix something?
No, I can adjust it if you want.
Maybe.
You're close.
Do it. I always don't make it right.
Yeah, it's okay. Just keep going.
Okay. Oh, that sounds better. Sorry. That sounds a lot better. So the Living Confidently podcast, I feel like what it really stems from is...
Sorry.
It's okay. What it really stems from is, I have ADHD. I can't talk and focus and see this at the same time. I keep getting distracted. Long story short, I just feel like I am all about trying to help people feel confident because of my lack of confidence, and I feel like I never had... Huh?
You want to sit back in your chair?
Here?
Whatever you want.
I'm honestly fine like this.
Okay, sorry for that. We should have done this before we started.
I know, shoot.
Okay, go.
So I feel like, oh yeah, wow, you can hear my noise. That you couldn't do that before.
Crisp.
Yeah. So basically I never had that confidence mentor or just someone, like when it came to my beauty stuff, like me being very girly, it all came from me searching for it, like watching YouTube videos and honestly the internet. Like the internet was my big sister, to be completely honest. And I feel like all of my confidence stuff, like Catie's Confidence is my Instagram, and then the Living Confidently podcast is all about literally just being confident. It doesn't even have to be like, here's a like step by step on how to look confident. Like that might be one of the episodes I do, but it's really just about being confident in your life, whether if it's confident in your decisions. And that means you making a decision that maybe you're not happy with, or making a decision that might bring you regret, might bring you for you to feel like maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it's having confidence to move forward and to just everything happens the way it's supposed to. And it's to bring confidence in all different aspects. The way that I go about my social media and my podcast really is just trying to be a big sister, because I've always wanted to be a big sister. Like, I remember asking my mom, being like, please just have one more child. I want to be a big sister, just have one. And those of you who don't know, my parents were always the older parents out of all of the rest of the classmates. I love my parents, but they're in like their 50s, 60s now, and I'm 20. So, like, my mom's sitting there like, Catie, you were the last one. Like, we were like, they knew I was going to be the last child. But in my head, I always felt like, but I always wanted to be a big sibling. You know, I always babysat kids and always did everything like that. So when it comes to the Living Confidently podcast and just my social media in general, it's just being a big sister, just helping people feel confident, helping them feel inspired, helping them feel and honestly, just using things that I learn, whether if it's from anything, if it's from just a podcast I listen to, if it's from a book, if it's from, you know, therapy, who knows, like whatever I'm learning at the time of my life, I feel like I just want to help someone that maybe they didn't know that information, or that would help them, you know? So that's really what it is. It's not about like the look of confidence or like the basic, you know, like when you picture confidence, I feel like we all picture something specific, but it's not only about the looks. It's about confidence in life. Even with me going through like parts of my life where I'm not confident, whether if it's in my looks, if it's in, you know, my decisions, if it's in anything, like, even if I'm not feeling that way, I'm going to, I'm going to spread, and give what I'm going through to someone else to help give them confidence and to help give them a way out of any situation that they're in. You know, that's really all it is. It's just more like inspiration. But I don't know, living confidently, just reminding yourself to live confidently in anything. And be confident in your style. Be confident the way you look. You're beautifully made the way you are. Be confident in your decisions. Be confident in your relationships. Be confident in yourself. And how, like, I know I've already used this expression because we're all worth the same, but in your worth. Like, be confident in what you bring to the table.
Right.
Be confident in literally everything, you know? That's what I envision, or what I picture when it comes to confidence. So, yeah. Because if people meet me, I'm not confident. Like, if you meet me, I'm not very, like, I don't know. In my head, I'm not very well put together.
Yes, you are.
Very, like, stern, confident, like, walks
rude.
into a room and, like, commands the room. Like, I'm not like that. Like, I'm very, like...
Yeah, you're not entitled. You're not rude. You're a good human being, and...
I mean, I wouldn't say rude comes from confidence, but I don't know. I don't want to I always feel bad. I feel like that's a negative way of looking at it, but in my head, it's more of just like, stance-wise. I feel like we all picture a confident person, which necessarily I don't think I look that way. I've been told I do, but I don't think I genuinely portray myself that way.
You do,
I'm, like,
and you do with
extremely
your work,
awkward.
Too. You can get a sense too on social media. You look at your social media, and that just like proclaims confidence. Like, it's so well put together. It's amazing. And I need you to do mine still, because mine's dog ass.
I know. I need to.
You don't need to.
It's my life's work.
I would just love for you to do that, because your social media looks stunning.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. I'm a firm believer that, like, I could even help coach you on how to do it, because I truly believe when a social media feed stands out, it's because the person who has it is doing it, but they're just learning different ways and they're adapting, but they're showing their true self, because I've done social media for so many different people and companies. And I just feel like it's always the best when the person who has the vision is doing it. You can learn the tips and tricks, the apps, and then you develop through time. Like, if you scroll back to my social media literally months ago to a year ago, it does not look the same. Like, it's just constantly developing. Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, basically, because you could just do my Instagram for me, and then just, like, there you go. And then as soon as you give me control back over it, then I just go in there and fuck everything up and just bring it right back to how it is right now. So basically what I'm trying to get across is you
train, or it's like that old story about how, like, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but basically it's along the lines of like, you can give somebody a fish and that, you know, you can feed them for a day, but if you teach a person to fish, you can feed them for a lifetime. So essentially what you would be doing is like winding me up and letting me go. So it's like you gotta, you know, you teach the process. You show me, you know, the process. You show me, okay, this is what you gotta do. This is the process. This is a yes. This is a no. Do this. This is what you're looking for, kind of thing. These colors go good together, whatever it is, and then let me go, and then I can have my own spin on it. My own take on it, but you taught me how to do it, so that way I can do it for myself, kind of thing.
And I feel like also when it's something where it's a company, normally it's just a brand. Like that's something where if it's a company or if it's something broad, you can easily make content, but it doesn't have to be personalized. It just has to be branded. Like it just has to, where someone looks at it, they think of this company.
Right.
When they read those words, they think of this company, you know, compared to with yours, I'm going to use yours for example, but like with yours, yes, it's the podcast, but the podcast is very much you. And it's also a mixture, your page is a mixture of the podcast and your personal life and your personal stuff, that it's very much you. And I just feel like, you know, someone else can put things together and make content or make something, but I feel like you're always going to have your vision, you know, and even after a while, you might see certain things and you might think, oh, I could have never done that. That's cool. Then after a while, it's like you start to learn too, where then like you look at something and be like, but that's not how I envisioned it. Like it's always like, it's a very specific thing. Like when it's something that's personal, I just feel like it's very, you know, like, if I hope you get where I'm coming from. It's personalized, but when it's something personal like that, then you should definitely more learn and do it yourself, you know?
Right. Yeah, you could, it's easy to basically...
I mean, I'll still do your stuff, but I'm just saying, like, from experience.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like you can't see the forest through the trees because somebody can look at your Instagram and be like, wow, that's beautiful. The whole picture, you look at the page, your main page, your profile, and it looks beautiful, it looks gorgeous. Somebody's like, I want you to do my social media because that looks stunning. Yours looks amazing. I love what you did. So you say, okay, here, this is what you got to do. You start setting up posts for them and tell them like, this is what you got to do. So then you like make your first post, you show them, and they don't like it. And it's like, that's not what I envisioned, kind of thing. So then that person's getting caught up in the single individual post, and they're not, you know, they're looking at the tree rather than the forest. They're focusing, they can't see the whole forest because they're focusing on the tree, kind of thing. It's like, or the tree is blocking the way of the whole forest they're standing in. It's the whole picture, the big picture and that's going to be an issue with me as well too, where it's like, I'm sure it's going to be like, here, this is what you need to do. And me be like, I don't really know though, but like if I just like gave you full control and you just went with it, ran with it, then it would look absolutely stunning. But it's like you get fixated on the nitty gritty stuff because it's not exactly what you pictured. But like obviously what I'm doing with my Instagram is sloppy. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like tough to see the whole picture, especially if it's in your mind. Like you can't really, it's hard to use our words to express, you know, the feeling and emotion that you can get out of senses with color and words when it's not fully put together yet. So,
yeah.
But you do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love you. And I love what you did with the seasons of the podcast too. How it's like, you're on season 2 because you had quite a bit of a break there. So
yeah,
it's cool
but you have your episodes to like 60, 70.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just meant more because we've had a past conversation about it where you said you weren't going to do seasons. So you complimenting it, I instantly was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know why I brought that up.
Oh, it's okay. No, I was just saying that you had your podcast before my podcast.
Yeah.
And then like had a little bit of a break, but I love that you did like season 1, season 2. It's cool that
I broke it up.
Yeah, that it feels like you kept the flow going.
Yeah.
Because you did it in seasons. So
yeah.
I like that. I think it
Yeah.
was well thought out and very professional.
Yeah, I definitely have multiple jobs. So it kind of, in a way, instead of me trying to restart or deleting everything or doing all of that, I kind of like rebranded or like did a season 2 instead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
And same with your cover photos. They're so just stunning and beautiful. I
Oh my
love
gosh,
it.
thank you.
That's like another thing with the whole branding thing that we kind of go back and forth because you're so professional and you're so like you know what you're doing. Like you're getting scouted by like TV shows and stuff. People like you and like what you're doing, and it's amazing. But then I like this. I got my own vision of how I want things, and
Yeah. We went back and forth about your cover photo.
yeah,
We have 2 different visions.
for the loyal listeners that's followed me from the beginning, you know that I had my original release cover photo, and now
I took that picture
yeah, you did, and
edited it. I put it together with
yeah,
you.
you made that cover photo. You made the whole thing.
Well, yeah, but I made it, but I had you next to me. Like we figured it
Yeah.
out together.
Yeah, font and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We went back and forth, but yeah, that you really wanted me on the photo, and like you and I kind of disagreed on which photos to use. I kind of because I was really new to everything. I just let you go with it. Turned out beautiful, and then I kind of like forced that kind of background, and I don't know.
First, what background?
Like that kind of starry black background, and
Oh yeah.
you know, it was kind of a mixture of both of our visions together. And I feel like I should have probably let you do everything because yours look amazing.
Well, it's gotta be you though.
Yeah. Well, and then that's where it came in where I kind of took over 100% and did my logo because I wanted a podcast logo.
Yeah.
I wanted a logo so I could put it on hats and be able to wear it around and have stickers and stuff like I do. Like, I think that would be
Like
so
he
cool.
does now.
Yeah.
DM him for one.
Yeah, they're amazing. But it's so cool to have that logo now. So just to like be able to represent the podcast and
Yeah.
people can recognize the logo.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about doing the logo route rather than, you know, having like a cover photo with me on it and then like having like, you know, it's super professional and really like business oriented if that's the route you're going, which your podcast, it's perfect. But for me, I want to be able to have like merchandise.
Yeah. Well, that's even like, I mean, I have a specific font for like Katie's confidence in
Yeah.
certain things where like if I make hats or like I have beanies that I've been wanting to make that say confidence on them where like that's a logo. Like
Yeah.
people are going to see that and
The
think of
font
me.
is still the brand.
Yeah,
that makes
exactly.
sense.
That was my whole thing with you. I loved the logo that you made. I thought it was amazing. And I thought if you have stickers and hats and everything, definitely use that. My whole thing was for the podcast cover art. I felt like you should still be on it. Whatever you decided to change
Yeah.
was my whole thing. Because I'm a big thing. I feel like it looks more professional. I'm a big person on people want to see who's talking.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Especially if you're not doing videos right now.
Yeah, which will change soon after
Yes.
I quit messing up on the freaking.
Stop it. No, guys. Okay. He's literally a perfectionist and he's been trying to get his studio together. He made a table from scratch. It looks so professional. And yeah, so what? You put clear coat or whatever on it and then the portions were wrong and it's all drippy. He'll fix it and it'll be fine. But like the fact this table looks so professional and so sturdy and so nice, no one's going to care. It's the fact that you're putting your heart and soul in it. And no one, I can't do that. I can't build a table like that. Like most people can. I bet I could ask a couple people and they're like, oh, I could have never made that myself. Like just be happy that you even built that table and that it turned out the way that it did and it looks amazing and be happy with the process. Don't keep critiquing everything.
Well, thank you. It's got to be perfect because it's going to be on video.
Yeah.
But yeah, once it's on video, that's a different story. But you're right about me on on the cover, and it was kind of like a fine kind of thing. So the background of the cover, I did kind of tuck me and Bear in the corner there as the background, but still the logo is the front and center, the centerpiece.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know what the best route is, and who knows, maybe it'll change down the road, but
Yeah.
that logo is staying as far as I know. Mm-hmm. But I love it. I think it's so cool. I love the whole compass look to it.
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
But yeah, I love you so much.
I love you so much.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
So, well, I don't want to say a specific word, but would you ever go skydiving?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've already talked about
Oh,
this.
that's actually surprising.
We talked about it 2 days ago.
Yeah, I know we did.
I was one of the first people to say I would.
Well, that's awesome. So you're not afraid of anything then?
No, because we already had this conversation. So the fact that you're surprised, that's the only reason why I'm saying this, because I said that I would. And then you said, well, I would too, but I wouldn't have an instructor. And I said, no, I would have an instructor because they've been doing it for such a long time that I would trust for them to pull the cord. And just the fact that they're trained, they've been doing it for so long that I would rather have someone strapped to me when we go down, because also I'll probably be like so immersed in the experience that what if I just forget to pull it? Like, I would rather have someone who's trained. Also, if something were to malfunction, like they're taught so many different things, or there might be an emergency cord or something where they will know, in the mix of it.
Look at how fast that earth is moving towards me. It's so beautiful.
And then you said that, no, I would never do that. I don't trust anyone, and that I would never have someone strapped to my back. I'd rather do it by myself and just have the backpack and pull the cord.
Not that I wouldn't ever. I mean, you have to when you're getting trained.
That's what you said.
No, I was just saying that just show me how to do it and let me do it myself, because I have major trust issues.
Isn't that basically what I said?
That doesn't mean that I would never. You pretty much have to. If you and I want to go skydiving, you pretty much have to when you're learning. I'm pretty sure you have to the first 100 hours of skydiving or whatever it is, but before you can do it alone. But yeah, I'd much rather have somebody just show me how everything works and just let me do it on my own. But that's where that went. That doesn't mean that I would never. But one thing you would never catch me doing is bungee jumping, or
no,
bungee jumping especially, but also base jumping probably not either. But you would never catch me bungee jumping. Fuck that.
Yeah, no.
Especially the ones where it's bungeed around your ankles. Your ankles are together and you just jump off and fuck no. Hell no. Screw that. Would you?
No.
Yeah, it's weird. Base jumping though, jumping off of something really high with a parachute still, would you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do that.
Jumping off of something just really high with a parachute?
Yeah. Like a cliff. Jumping off a cliff with a parachute, or a bridge, a super tall bridge.
I think so. Well, typically, I don't know. I think I would. Because I just feel like with that, I guess I was confusing that more with hang gliding.
Oh.
Which I would do that.
That'd be cool.
When you jump off of something and you have the big thing over you and you fly with it. Yeah. I would do that.
That'd be cool.
And then, I would.
You ever just think of those the fairground, or the county fairs with the hang glider rides? Everybody lays down and you just go in a up and down circle.
Oh, really?
You remember that?
No, I've never done that.
But they're like the fairground rides where you lay on your stomach.
But Six Flags has the Superman ride, I think, where you're laying down on your stomach.
Oh, that's cool.
Throughout the whole ride.
I didn't know
that was one of my favorites. That was actually the first ride I ever been on. I don't know if that's Superman or Batman. It's one of the two, but
probably Superman. That makes more sense.
I know. I don't know why Batman's ringing a bell though. I don't know why. Because I feel like I used to love the Batman ride too, but I don't remember why then. Yeah. But I do remember there was a ride where you literally are on your stomach the whole entire time, and that was actually it was my favorite ride in Six Flags. I used to go to Six Flags all the time when I was 18.
Yeah, I went there a few times, but Disney kind of ruined it. I've said that before.
Why?
It's Well, just because Six Flags isn't fun after you go to Disney World. Like, because we'd go there, like, we went there, like, 3 times every couple of years, and, like, then you'd go to Six Flags for school field trips and stuff, and it was like, yeah, this is, like, the biggest coaster they got there are, like, the size of the smallest ones at Disney, and they're, like, I don't know, it's just, like,
I mean, they have cool things about both of them, though. Like, they're completely different parks.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, I understand the highest roller coaster and all of that, but on the other hand, like, we don't live anywhere that has Disney, so, like, our Disney basically is Six Flags.
Yeah, I feel like Six Flags is just like an overrated county fair with a little bit bigger coasters.
My gosh.
I don't know. I was
it's
never.
Fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I haven't gone since I've been with you.
Yeah.
Since then, probably because of that.
Yeah. Well, we can go back.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a while, and I'm sure it's
Fright
changed.
Fest and stuff like that too. That's always fun. When everyone dresses up.
Fuck that.
There's zones where they don't go after you.
Okay, well
and that one I think you wouldn't mind because it's like all out. Like there's no like haunted houses or anything. It's all just the rides have like red lights and the water's red and it's all like about the lighting and maybe they'll have like an outdoor show there. But besides that, it's all just the people walking around.
Yeah. Okay. If there's like tape or marks on the ground, yeah, then that's fine.
Yeah, like there was always like an area
like
that you knew they
zones.
weren't gonna touch you. Yeah. I mean they don't touch you, but like you know that they're not gonna go near you and go in your face.
I'd end up hitting someone.
Oh my God.
I hate that. I hate haunted houses.
No, because we went to the what was it? The Hallows Eve night in Naperville Settlement with my family and everything, and they had people walking around. They had even some haunted houses that we even went in, and you were fine.
Maze. We did the haunted maze.
Yeah, and you were fine then.
Yeah.
You were able to keep, I mean, you might not have been fine mentally, but you were able to keep your composure and act calm.
Yeah,
like, you didn't punch anyone or anything.
We were at Doug and Steph and you, and that's...
Okay, so Doug and Steph, you have to come to Fright Fest, because apparently if it's just me and him, he'll punch someone, but if it's with you guys, then he won't.
Well, that's also true, too, because, like, a group like that, and we were able to walk, like, 4 wide. Like in this maze. It wasn't a small maze. It was a big maze and it was wide. So we were able to walk like all 4 of us side by side. And even though it was like all smoke, you could barely see in front of you because they had the fog machines going.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What was that? I was at the Napier settlement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Settlement.
That was a cool place. They do a really nice job. You remember the alien, what is it? The alien autopsy?
Yeah.
It was like a play of it was like a show of an alien autopsy, and it was like a bunch of aliens standing around an operation table, and there's just a dead alien body supposedly laying on this table, and they're just like cutting this thing open and like pulling random shit out of its stomach and stuff, and it was just like the weirdest noises, the weirdest lights and colors and shapes of these aliens. It was just obviously for fun, for whatever, that Halloween thing, but it was funny. It was cool. It was just,
they had a lot there.
It was different. That's what I liked about it. It was creative at the very least, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool, but definitely weird. But yeah, not a fan of anything like that. Haunted houses, hell no.
I feel like you say that, but I feel like you would be fine if we actually went to one.
Yeah.
And also, all you have to keep telling yourself is that it's fake.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I'm pretty mentally...
I feel like you amp yourself up in your mind.
Mentally rigid. I'm pretty mentally strong. I can keep it together, but I can pretty much keep it together through anything, but like...
You just wouldn't go to one of those houses where you sign a waiver saying that people can touch you.
Fuck that.
You won't do that.
I don't watch scary movies either because I just got a super active imagination. I just fucking... It's not the movie itself that I can get through it all. I can get through the movie. It's the aftermath. It's the afterwards, and you're sitting there like after the movie's done or whatever it is, and you're just like thinking to your... I don't know. For me, it's like the aftermath of the thoughts afterwards. It's like, I don't need to be putting all that in my head. I got enough demons to battle in there. I don't need any of those ideas.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's
my
just...
gosh.
But
no.
Yeah, there's like... I remember Ben was talking about this one haunted house that's like multiple stories, and it's like takes like over an hour or so to get through, and it's like and they can basically do anything. Like, they can't hurt you, but they can basically do whatever they want to you. They can grab you, they can move you around, they can pin you down, they can do pretty much anything. Because most haunted houses, they can't touch you. They can't make contact with you.
Which that's what I'm fine with. I'll go into a haunted house just knowing they can't touch me.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, there's this one. I can't remember, but he was telling me about it, and it was like you sign waivers, and it's like costs a lot. Like, for a haunted house, it costs a lot of money to get in. I can't remember. It was like $100 a person or something like that. But like, you sign a waiver, pay the money, and if you can get through it, there was like a huge prize at the end of it. It was just like, I can't remember. I'm probably, this is a couple of years ago he told me, but I don't even know if they're still doing it. But it was like $3,000 prize pot or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you can get through it. All you got to do is get through it. But they can pretty much do whatever they want. And there's like exits everywhere in it because people are just like, I'm out. And then they stop. If you like tap out, you're done and you're out. Yeah. And they'll get you out of there right away. But yeah, it's literally just like sign the waivers, pay the money, and then if you can get through it, that all you got to do is get to the end.
Yeah, I know that there's a haunted house that I saw online that's very similar to that, where they sign a waiver and I think they're in there for an hour. But what I thought it was you're signing the waiver, also saying that no matter what, you'll try and stick it out for the hour. So like if you're if you're like crying, freaking out, like they did something, or they're like they won't let you out. Like literally they'll watch footage of like you crying, like basically traumatized. And I mean, I doubt that they won't let you out. Like, I bet it just takes a certain point for them to be like, you know, the moment you're having a panic attack, they're probably like, okay, let's get her out. But on the other hand, like,
you start throwing up.
Yeah, but people were talking about how, and maybe it's because of the money too. Maybe like that is the reward, but people were talking about how traumatizing it is.
Yeah.
And how people who go in there don't leave the same when they leave. You know, that it's just like something too cynical. Like, it's like, who would even do that, you know? So, I mean, I would not do a haunted house like that. Heck no.
Yeah,
I remember
the money gives you that, you know, forced incentive to push yourself, and then all of a sudden, like, next thing you know, you're traumatized.
Yeah. I mean, I remember there's only been two. I went through like a haunted house phase where I went to a bunch of haunted houses, probably like in high school, like from like freshman year to senior year. And I remember my sophomore year, I went to a haunted house. And I was with like my best friend at the time. Her name was Brianna, and she like had a couple of her friends there. And I remember we were there with her mom, and it was the house. People who don't know me, like, I'm claustrophobic. Like, I've always been that way. Like, if I get held a certain way, or if I like just feel very like restricted, I will like all of a sudden it'll flip. Like, it feels like the walls are closing in. Like, I feel so panicky. And like I can't breathe.
You go from a tickle fight to start swinging at me.
No,
in a split second.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Those are honestly the only ones where I'm fine. But you know what though? Yeah, because literally yesterday, you had like your knee on my arm, and I got to the point where it started to kind of hurt that I was like, get it off.
Get it off.
Like, it was fine. Like when you were tickling me and when like whatever, but like you're way stronger than me, so you had like your knee on one of my arms to stop me from tickling you. And at first it's like, ha ha ha, you're so strong, ha, so funny, ha, get the fuck off of me. I'm just like panicking. No, it's okay. You're just so much stronger than me. I don't think you realize it, but yeah. So then I just remember we were like going into the house, and I was like, guys, okay, we can go in this one. I was like, the other ones I was okay with, but this haunted house, like, I'm really nervous because I'm claustrophobic. And they were telling me how like the walls they had like little signs that said like, if you're claustrophobic, like be careful with this like one. And I was like, I would get scared pretty easily. And I remember telling them that, and my friend's mom agreed. She's like, I'll go first. Like, it's fine. Like, we'll go first. Maybe this wasn't sophomore year. I feel like maybe it was freshman or 8th grade. But anyways, her mom said that she would go first. So we were like, okay, like, who's going to be in the back? And then this one girl was like, oh, I'll be in the back. Like, because if anything pops out in the back, like, Katie, maybe that would make you feel better. Like, even though you're claustrophobic, like, being in the middle might make you feel better. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Like, that's fine. Because I don't like, I'm just nervous about this one house. I really don't want to go in, but we'll go. And so then I go in, and immediately you hear like like a knock, like, you know, because I feel like most haunted houses there's like a of something like popping out or something, and we like go through, and the friend that was like, oh yeah, I'll stand in the back, immediately cuts in front of me, so then I'm standing in the back, and then there was like a guy with a chainsaw, which typically I can tell myself in my mind, I can be like, it's fine, it's an actor. Like I've had like a lot of incidents where I've been like, it's an actor, it's fine, he's not real, like it's fine, and I can convince myself that. But this man was holding a chainsaw and was standing behind whispering things in my ear, like at my age, and which on top of it, I'm feeling so claustrophobic with the walls that I immediately literally dipped away from them. I just ran out the exit sign. And I remember my friend's mom like immediately turned around because she heard it. I mean, you can hear when the person leaves. Yeah. So then I think she went after me. But yeah, so I remember that incident I had. I had another incident where I went to, for school, we took a field trip, like it was for like marching band. We like performed in Ohio. So we went to Cedar Point, which is a big roller coaster park. It's super, super fun. It's like Six Flags on steroids. But I remember we went during like the Halloween time, like fall time. So they had like a big haunted house. It was like a building. It was like a school building that you would go in, and it had a bunch of actors like running, popping out of places, all that. So it's like super, super scary. But then there was like a point where it was like you went in the gym and there was like a school dance happening with all the zombies and everything, which that was funny. That like once you hit that point, it's like you were able to poke fun at it and be like, oh, these are all actors. Like you saw zombies dancing, like that was funny. But I feel like the whole concept of being in like a big school building with a bunch of actors and it be dark and like there's lights and hearing noises and stuff, that was scary. So I remember that. So I've had a good amount of, I feel like when it comes to the Halloween time, I always made lots of memories then, because there was always something that happened or something that like triggered me, or like another one I remember was, I'll out myself, this was like a turning point of my life, but not really. We went to Napier Settlement all the time, and for some reason every time I went, there was always this freaking zombie kid that would chase after me. The first time I went, there was this little zombie. Well, not little zombie. It was like a younger guy, probably like 18. But like at the time, I'm in middle school. And he just keeps following me and like making noises. And he would target me to the point like my dad would start laughing because I'm like starting to sob. Like I got so worked up about it because I can tell myself it's an actor. But when a specific person keeps coming after me, that pushes me off the edge. Then it all goes out the window. Like I'm like instantly crying, like leave me alone. Like I was freaking out. And the one time that happened and I started crying, the second time we brought my friend Kaylin, and I remember my friend Kaylin,
so this is like year after year, basically.
Yes.
It was the same one.
It was the same one. And my friend Kaylin went up to him and was like, you don't scare me, like freaking out at him. And I remember that like brought me comfort. Like I was like, Katie, she's literally yelling at this kid. Like, you're fine. And so I remember that like brought me comfort. I remember my friends being like, Kaylin's such a good friend kind of thing. And then
you told that actor.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. She was like, and I mean, it's funny looking back. Like, oh my God. No, don't target a middle schooler.
I'm trying to put on a show for entertainment purposes and
go find a new victim.
Yeah, no, I get it.
To the point where you get a freaking 8th grader up in your face with a light up pumpkin ring being like, get out of her face. Like, I know you're fake. Like yelling at him. Like that should cross the line.
Like, fuck, maybe I am fake.
But then I remember another time that this is like a little cute little moment. Because I was always boy crazy in high school. And I remember one of the times there was like there was another zombie kid that like kept coming after me to the point where I like was losing it. I didn't cry, but it was to the point where I remember I think I went to my dad and I was like, please just get him away from me. Like I remember like going over to him, like hugging him, being like, make this man go away. Like I'm so tired of this man. And just like getting worked up. Like I don't think I cried this time. I cried all the other times. I don't think I cried this time, but I think I was making a fool of myself. Like I was running around like screaming, like get away from me.
Yeah.
And then eventually the guy like went up and started chewing on my brother's tie. So I think this was like freshman year of high school because my brother was wearing a tie, and that was like his senior year. He started to dress like that. And I think he was out of school around that time. I'm trying to think of my time frames, but so then maybe this was 8th grade. I don't remember. But yeah, so then my brother like had his tie and he was chewing on it, and my mom was like, "Oh, like do you know him?" And my brother's like, "Yeah, he's in like one of my friend groups. Like I do know him."
Yeah.
And so he was picking on me. And so then I remember like later going to my mom, we went to go see my brother because he's an amazing artist. He's like amazing. I'm surprised like he hasn't even still like stayed with that to this day, because he is like so amazing. So basically he won an award for his like portrait artwork, like of people, like with a pencil. So he had a bunch of his artwork at like the art festival up, and then he was walking around the booths with me and my mom. And I remember going to my mom and seeing a booth of a boy and being like, he is so cute. This boy is so cute. And then that was in like my boy crazy phase. So I'm like blushing, like, like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, blah, 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 like freaking out. And then I remember my brother walking up to me and being like, oh, let me introduce you. And I'm like, oh, you're introducing me to this man? Like, oh my gosh. And it turns out that was the man that was the zombie.
Oh my God.
And I remember him saying something and me being like so embarrassed. Like, this is the guy that chased me, and I lost my fucking mind. Literally made a fool out of myself. And I think, you know what, since then things didn't scare me, because then it was like that just set in where it's like, now I'm seeing this guy like months later and he's not a zombie, clearly. And then I'm thinking like, oh, this boy is so cute.
Or maybe he got bit by a human and turned back.
Oh, yeah. Bit by my brother. I'm joking. But yeah, so so I think that also kind of set in where I was able, like, I think from that point on, like all of high school, I watched a lot of scary movies. I was okay. I would go watch like Insidious with friends, and like I feel like I was like big on like haunted houses, scary stuff, all the way up until probably since I was like 19, 20. Like I literally watched that stuff all the time and was fine. But I think it's because I took it so hard in the beginning. Like it was like sleeping on the couch. My dad bought me a cross that got like blessed because we watched my first scary movie and it just got me in my head and I couldn't go to sleep, like kind of thing. That since I went through that phase and then had that like awakening in a way, like I like put the two, like the reality and the actor together, the zombie and the boy, that I was like, like, Catie, it's literally all fake.
Yeah, it clicked.
Stop. You know, that happened. But I think that's such a funny story to tell people, because like
it is.
Knowing myself, how boy crazy I was in high school, and how like easily, like I just like would blush, and I made such a fool of myself, let alone even when I liked a guy, that I think it's so funny that literally I was so afraid, like I would lose my mind, like run around and have these zombie boys chase me because I'm running, because I'm like, get away from me. Like I'm so dramatic about it. Like I'm like, it's like the way I react when I see like a wasp near me. Like that's how I am. I'm like, get the fuck away. Like I'm freaking out. So maybe I'll just have to see like, you know, a wasp later on and it'll click. Maybe once a wasp stings me. Well, I've gotten stung by a bee though.
Or so maybe months from now you'll see a wasp as a human. And then...
I was trying to think of a way to say that, but I couldn't think of it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're so cute. Maybe
wasps are people too, you know.
maybe that was foreshadowing for the book of your life, because now all these boys are chasing you because you're so beautiful and stunning, and now you're just like, get the fuck away from me.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah. Yeah. I'll actually talk about this time when I was in Vegas. I told Brody about it because I'm completely transparent, but Anita was making fun of me because me and Anita were waiting to do like one of the celebrity clients that night, and I just flew in and I like quickly got myself together, and we were sitting at like one of the hotels waiting to be called up. We were early and we're sitting there, and it was like it wasn't F1, it was like FEMA, or it was something like some auto body big show in Vegas.
Oh, SEMA.
SEMA, yes. It was that, and that was happening at the time. So there was like a bunch of people that you could see like wearing like shirts, and it was just a bunch of like car dudes, like bro dudes. And one of the guys walks up and he's like, hey, and I have good intuition, like I can just like tell certain things, and it's the way he walked up and he's like, hey, are you guys staying or leaving? And we're literally waiting for this like to go up to this client, and I immediately go, leaving. Like, that's all I say. And Anita turns to me because she's so like relaxed about that kind of stuff, and she's just like, we're waiting to go up the stairs to one of our clients, like we're staying. And like that's just how I am, like immediately. Like then he's like, oh, like, well, what are you guys doing after this? And Anita was like, getting McDonald's. And I'm like, yeah, we're going home and getting McDonald's. I'm just the kind of person where I'm like, I am immediately trying to shut things down.
Hints, yeah.
Like I just want to be as clear as day. Yeah. I'm leaving, I'm not going anywhere. Like I know it comes off a certain way, and who knows, and I need to trust my intuition.
Katie's confidence, so you're living confidently podcast.
Yeah, I just like don't want anything, like I don't want them to get any ideas, like I want to be very clear, like
you're confident with your beliefs. That's what it is.
Yeah so yeah, so then I just forgot, and she was just laughing at me the whole time about it, which I was right, the guy was hitting on me specifically, but I was like,
because he came back and said it, right?
Yeah, I felt bad saying it on the podcast, but he basically, we just like had small talk with him, and he kept trying to give us his business card, and we were like, no, like we're not gonna take it, like she's married, I'm engaged, kind of thing. And he was like, no, like just to follow each other, like just because we're all business owners, kind of thing. And so then he like placed it down, and so then he like walked away, and I was like, phew, he walked away. And then his friends all got up with him, and then he like turned around and he was like, by the way, no offense. And like he said, he didn't say no offense, but he said something like to Anita, like, by the way, like you're both pretty, but like your friend's gorgeous, and I really wanted to talk to her, or like said something like that, where Anita like looked at me like that, and I was like, I fucking knew. Like that's why I react that way. Like I'm extremely awkward, but like, and I probably come across like a bitch, but like it's for that very reason. Or it's like the time when when I went to Walmart. I know you love this story.
Oh yeah,
you love this story. I was proud when I came home,
because you are like you were saying,
I'm quick with it.
Well, you're like kind of on the more shy and timid side, like you said in the beginning, but like when like that kind of stuff you take seriously. Yeah, or it's like, oh, I put this like off my ear and it sounds weird now. It's more like the way my brain works is I can be nice. Like I can tell if someone's walking up and they're just making small talk. Yeah, like they're just being nice. Like I love, like I genuinely have, especially recently, learned to love humans. And so I can talk to people and be fine. It's more of when it right away switches into like personal, like they're trying to get to know me, you know, is when I'm like immediately like shut down. Nope. Like I'm gonna walk away, you know. And I've had weird incidents. Like I've had to get walked to my car from a grocery store before because some guy would not leave me alone, like following me in aisles, like would not, trying to get me to look at something on his phone, and I kept my cart between us. Like, yeah, that was smart. Yeah, like I've dealt with that too, where I like get nervous. But with this incident, it was like one of the ComEd people that's like, do you pay your ComEd bill? And they asked me, and they were like, hey miss, like do you have ComEd? And I'm like, no. And immediately walk away. And so then I'm in the aisle, and I'm like looking for, I think I was looking at rice or something, I don't remember, I was looking for something. Yeah, and the guy had the nerve. Wasn't he like, oh, like I wish I didn't have to pay my ComEd bill or whatever? Oh yeah. Oh yes. So they first asked like, do you use ComEd? That's what they always say. Yeah. And I'm like, no. And I walked away, and then I was in the aisle, and I'm like looking at food, and I was like right in the aisle where you can see their stand. So he was right there, and he was like, yeah, you know, I wish I didn't have to pay my bill, you know, like, but you got to put in those hours. You got to, like, I just tuned him out. Yeah. Like, he's just like talking. Yep. And so then I actually went to like an aisle down, and I think he saw me like go around and go to the next aisle, because I was looking for food. Yep. And he like said something like, are you looking for me? Because I'm right here with my phone, or like I'm right here, like with his phone out, like saying like a comment like that. And so I immediately just right away turned to him,
And also there was a worker next to me that was like, the guy was like astounded, like shaking his head, like, you know, I could tell he was like a cool guy because because also like he was like cool, like he had like eyeliner and like pink hair, so like I could tell like his vibe, like I got him. So he was more of like more feminine, like he was more shaking his head like fucking men, like kind of like in that way. And I immediately turned to the guy and I'm like, and I just show off my promise ring. It wasn't my engagement ring, it was my promise ring. That was like what I loved about my promise ring. And I showed it off to him and I was like, remember when I said I don't pay for my bill? And I like said something like, I said that to him, and he immediately like looked at me and was like, oh, and like walked away. Walked away. And then I just remember the worker being like, you showed him, like freaking out, awesome. And like you know, like just like hyping me up for it, like clapping, like it was so funny. So yeah, that's just how I think. That's why like also like I'm just rude. Like I just don't ever want to give anyone, like I'm like, the funny thing is people who know me, I'm not that way at all, but it's like a switch. It's like the moment like some person, like a guy or even like a girl like tries to hit on me, I'm like no like any way to get out of that, I'm like no. And I like, and the annoying thing is like the way I react too is I'm not like bitch faced. It's very like, I'm the kind of person where like I blush a little bit, like I get very awkward and very like nope, like get away kind of thing, where then I'm like immediately trying to hide my face and like trying to like just be fucking rude so then they go away, like because I'm just like I don't want any sort of reaction. So you're
so funny.
I don't know.
Scary monsters in real life.
Those zombie boys.
Oh god. We really drug out this Halloween thing though, coming into the Christmas season, that's for sure.
Yeah, we did.
Another like scary Halloween themed episode.
You know, Halloween episode. We had 69. We had
you've been on quite a bit.
Yeah, I have.
But we got our Christmas tree up, and we're talking.
We had our Christmas tree up literally the day after Halloween, thanks to me.
Same with the shop too. All Christmas decorations up.
Yeah.
Typically it's the day after Halloween, but this year it was on Halloween. They had all the Christmas decorations up.
Valid.
Oh, there's Bailey scratching her cone.
Yeah, Bailey's got a little coney cone on. That's why you can hear it.
Yep.
You sweet girly girl.
Yeah.
So the holidays are coming up. Everyone do Secret Santa. Save people money.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it's awesome.
Also, go listen to the Living Confidently podcast, 5 Ways to Be Confident During the Holidays.
Yes.
Recent episode.
Yes. Yeah, I listened to it too. It was awesome.
Thanks.
I listen to all your episodes. They're really good. And I love your opener, and I love the outro music. It's awesome.
Thank you.
And not just the outro music. You got a whole outro recorded. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's really well done. It's so.
Thank you. So I don't forget things.
Did you record it on these mics?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, they sound fucking phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
I might have played with the settings at the time, but I don't remember what those settings were.
Yeah.
I just kind of record now.
Yeah. I love like this setup that I have. I love the software that we use, but I am probably looking to switch softwares because we have had some technical difficulties that are quite frustrating. So probably going to change that up, and I'm also going to...
Also, this used to be my gaming computer, so there's Sims on it. But now it's yours, but there's Sims on it, so you can delete that to save yourself some room, too.
I feel bad because you put in a lot of hours.
It's okay. It is what it is.
A lot of hours of video gaming.
It's okay. It's your computer now.
Speaking of putting in hours of video gaming, what have you been playing a lot?
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, we kind of stopped playing that.
I know.
We were on that for quite a while.
Yeah. I actually wanted to play it.
Oh, really?
Pretty recently. Yeah, because you know what? Stardew Valley is fun, but in my head, I like need a Switch. I need like not the game console. I need some
switch games.
Yeah, because Stardew Valley's oh my gosh.
Okay, Bailey.
Stardew Valley is so calming.
Yeah.
But it's like we're already in year 2. It's the same holidays, and like I do the same stuff. Like I pick up the mushrooms.
I guess I require more chaos in my life.
I do. It's like I'm just like at the point where it's like we have like 3 days, and then I'm like instantly like I'm just not in it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
done.
still like fresh to the game, so I'm still like.
I also have
it.
played the game in the past, so.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like we've talked about it on the podcast before, and I didn't realize it, and then like we started playing it because Steph and Doug.
Oh yeah. Because when I started playing it, when I got my kick on it, I'm pretty sure you asked me on the podcast about it.
Yeah. So then. I'm like,
game.
Yeah, you talked about like playing Stardew Valley, and I didn't put it together that that's what you were playing, and then I listened back to an old episode, and I'm just like, oh shit, that's what she was playing. Oh, I never put it together.
Also, in the my Switch version game, it's just me playing, so like at least I also had like the intriguingness of like winning someone over, like trying to like give them eggs or give them little gifts to make them fall in love with me, kind of thing. And then you get the little cuts, and then you get the little cut scenes and stuff. I'm like, in this, I'm like basically married to you. So,
but
there's no cut scenes.
You're sitting there on the couch, just sitting next to me, trying to get with another guy digitally, and then we're playing no, not that. I'm saying we're playing Baldur's Gate, and then I have to talk to some girl, and you're like, what are you talking to her for?
I joke around about that. I'm not joking, but okay.
While you're sitting there trying to date him.
No, stop it! No, that's never happened.
No, Second of all, you just admitted it in Stardew Valley.
Well, that's because okay. Well,
I caught you.
You're right. You
I don't care either way. I think it's funny.
It's just like it's because in the game you're supposed to be farming and then you create a family. But like that's it. Like you don't see anything. Baldur's Gate, you literally can see people have sex. Like that's gross. Like the characters literally can have sex in front of you. Like that's disgusting. Second of all, I black out whenever anyone flirts with me. Okay, I just instantly become a bitch. A girl literally could obviously flirt with you and literally touch you, and you'll be like, and you won't even realize it.
Are you calling me stupid?
I'm not calling you stupid
Oblivious.
at all. Yes. Yes. I love you, but yes.
I love you.
I just feel like you're so nice too when it comes to like you're very nice. Where then I feel like girls can do things where literally I have people coming up to me being like, "Did you see that?" or like, that girl's literally flirting with him or stuff like that, and you won't realize it. Like you literally don't. Like you'll come over to me and be like, I literally had no clue. Like I did not realize it. I didn't know. Which is fine. You don't realize it. You don't see it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like that's why also sometimes I'm on edge, or I'll look at you and be like, please fucking sit next to me. Or like in games, I'll be like, why the fuck are you talking to her? Like kind of thing. I think that's where that stems from, is because of that, you know?
Yeah.
It's definitely more of part of like the engagement package. I feel like when I was your girlfriend, it was more like, oh, whatever. But now like, it's like, you're my fiance, you're my man kind of thing, that I'm like, don't fucking talk to him, you know? Because I also feel like the moment you're upgraded to fiance too, I feel like people are more like.
Upgraded to fiance.
I'm talking
Too
game
many video
terms.
games, yeah.
The moment you level up to fiance.
Sweetie, this is Thanksgiving, and I'm talking to my mom.
No, I've never reacted that way. Stop!
I'm kidding.
No, only with you and Doug.
What?
I said only with you and Doug.
What?
Where I'm like, sorry, Bailey's cone was caught. I thought she was biting the headset. I was like, what is happening? I said only with you and Doug, because Doug flirts with you all the time at Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
you know. Yeah. The moment Doug shows around, you know, me and Steph are chopped liver.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Then you and Doug have your bromance.
I love Dougie. He's awesome.
You're so funny. No, I've never said that about your mom. Are you kidding
No, I know.
me?
That was totally a joke.
I know, it's a joke.
I love you so much.
I love you so much. But yeah, I do it for jokesy jokes, but I also feel like
Jokesy jokes.
I also feel like it's not a joke at the same time. So it's fine. I'm protective over you. It's okay. It's whatever.
You're so cute.
Yeah.
Well, I love that about
But you know what? You don't worry about a thing because you know that I'll take care of it. I've hit a man before. Not in a relationship. I mean, like, I've had a man flirt with me. I've had a man flirt with me and like cross a line and me defend myself and be like, get the fuck away.
Yeah.
Like, I can stand on my own. I can do that. Where
I guess I've been abusive before.
No, when I said that, I was like, well, like I was single at the time. Like I crossed a line, so I kind of had to do it. But I can stand my own. Where I have that switch where I black out and I'm just a bitch. Like I'm just like, get away and I'll run away as quick as I can.
Yeah.
You know, that I feel like you don't have to worry about a thing because you just know that that's literally how I react. And you know that, that's just literally where my mind goes. So, yeah.
I
love you.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're just like, you're perfect.
Also, okay, I'm gonna be completely honest too. Sometimes I feel like I just do things nonchalant that I don't realize, but that's definitely coming from like a jealousy or like protective aspect. Like today when we were at church and I was like blocking you, I kind of thought about it and I was like, I feel like I did that because like a younger girl came into the circle and I like immediately just covered you, like walked in front of you because I'm like holding your hand behind me like this is my fucking man.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, because I nonchalantly, but I don't realize it. Like I don't know, like I don't mean to do it on purpose. It's just my mind like is protective over you.
Well, that's good, and we're learning to, understand each other, and we're learning about each other.
We're dirtying our dirty laundry, or we're
dirtying our dirty.
We're airing our dirty laundry on the podcast. That's like when you're talking about personal stuff.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
that's what the whole podcast is. No, I'm just
basically, honestly.
No, but no, that it's good though because we're learning about each other. And we're growing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting because I was like, "Do you not want me here?" Because I like felt like you were cutting me out of the conversation. You just like kept scooching in front of me, and then I like scooch over, and then like get in the conversation again, and you just like creep and stand in front of me again.
But you know what? Again, like it's not even like that for everyone. Like it's like there's certain people that can walk up and I'm fine.
You're so
like
funny.
I vibe with them. Like I'm like I got you. You respect me. Like I don't care about you with him. Like
if they go through you, then you're good.
But when
if
it's
they
like
start talking directly
if their eyes are above me, I'm like fuck no. I'm gonna be right here in between you. No.
Yeah, there's a chain of command here.
There's a chain of command. Little do you know.
Goodness.
So
it's you, then it's me, and then it's you again.
I love you. But it's more, and I don't know. I feel like that's definitely a new thing. I haven't always been like that, but yeah. Well, but also, I mean, I've had a past too with people that I feel like, not that I don't trust you at all. It's more of like, I'm at the point where like, it's more other people, like, and I love you. I love you. Where like, it's more of, I get controlling where it's like, I don't want you to put yourself in that situation,
Oh, yeah.
Not that you would, but also.
Or find myself in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I'd never put myself.
No. Yes. Find yourself. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I love you.
I love you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you watch me like a hawk, which.
I'm sorry. Gosh, you're going to have everyone being like, break up with her.
Stop it.
Because I'm like, that's my one thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially I feel like, this sounds so bad, but I feel like, especially when you are engaged or married, it's so easy, even in relationships where it's like, it's so easy to think or forget that other people can like you. Even if they're in relationships or they're engaged or they're married, like you don't know anyone's background. You don't know their intention. You don't know their feelings. And I even remember when I worked at Olive Garden, like I remember talking to like Molly and Reagan about it and being like, when you're in a relationship, especially for as long as you are, you like forget that other people can like you. Like, and I feel like there was a period of time where I was only around women. Like I didn't really find myself around any or even out places. I would just either be home or I'd be at work with a bunch of women. So I never like found myself in those situations at all where like someone was flirting with me. And it's more of like a more recent thing now where now like I'm going to more places out more and going to more events where it's male and female and where like I notice it more where I'm like, oh fuck. Like you like forget that other people can like you and also you forget that other people's morals are not like yours. Like some people will see a ring and be like, oh heck no. Like even when I met you were in a relationship where I was like, oh, he's off the table. And then that's how it was. And then we ended up getting together in an authentic way when you were single, compared to other people would see you and be like, oh, who cares? Or would see my ring and be like, well, they're not married yet. And when even some people look at married people and they're like, well, I can change that. I'm different. Like other people think that way, where I know that. And I've seen that from other people where like, that's where my trust issues are, where it's like, I trust you and I trust myself. I know myself. I've proven it time and time again. But on the other hand, it's more like, but I just don't trust other
Which
people.
also from that point of view too, like if somebody comes in and like say you are, you know, swayed or convinced or whatever, even though you are married or engaged or whatever it is, and some guy comes up to you or whatever and like gets between it. For me, it's like, if that's that other person's, if that's the other person's morals and how they
we've
live,
talked about
like,
this.
why would you want to do that in the first place? It's
Number
like,
one,
you're downgrading.
I'm just gonna say,
just based off the principle that they had the morals of making a decision like that.
yeah. And I would say too, number one, if your partner leaves you for someone else, no matter how much it hurts, girl or boy, you got to eat some ice cream and get over it, because they are not the person for you if they're able to leave you like that. Second of all, I've always had this concept in my head from someone who has been cheated on in a serious relationship, and been lied to about it nonstop.
Not me.
Not no.
Make that
before
super
you.
clear.
Yes, no. I'm just saying, like, but in the past I have. That my whole thing was when I met you, and we've talked about this in the past too on the podcast, but if you go after someone who's in a relationship and they leave their relationship and go for you, what makes you think that they're not going to do it to you?
Right.
Even if you didn't mean to, even if it's out of your character and it's your first time and you just feel like they're the one, it's like, even down the road, like even years when you're married or whatever.
You've shown the possibility, you've shown
that you can do that, you know, and it's more of, that's where I protected my heart, where it was like, even if I've, you know, saw a man in my friend's chair and it ended up being her brother, that's so cute with the best smile ever, I had to tell my heart and my soul, like, you cannot go after this man, he's in a relationship, you know, like, you are gonna get your heart broken and you're gonna feel so insecure if you know that man left his relationship for you, because then you're always gonna sit there questioning, what makes me any different? You know, like that does creep up on you later, you know, that I've always thought that way, where it was, you know, and I found myself in some situations where, like,
and it's good you thought that way and God rewarded you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I always felt that way too, because, like, I've even learned, like, I can be completely honest, I even learned from, like, not past relationships romantically, but, like, I always had guy friends. I always had guy friends growing up because I had my older brother. I just had all guy cousins that, like, I did have a lot of guy friends. And there was a point where I was talking and one of my guy friends was my coworker at where I worked. He was a musician. I don't care if this is literally years later. Who cares if I'm talking about this? But he was a musician. And at the time, his girlfriend was not supportive about it at all. And he had an amazing voice. Played guitar amazing. And my brother did open mic all the time. So I was like, here, just come with me to open mic. Just, you know, as like this can be your outlet to sing. Like, who knows if someone's going to find you and get you in a band or get you in, like, as a friend, you know? And I invited him out to that. And I think it, like, made things messy where he had a girlfriend, you know. I understood him. I'm doing quotations. I understood him because he was so passionate about music, and I understood that aspect of his life because of my brother. You know, my dad would come there occasionally. So, like, he met my dad, my brother, my cousin Nick, you know, that I feel like he was meeting the family too, that then it was like he broke up with his girlfriend and he told everyone, all of our coworkers, before I even knew, he told all of them that he also broke up with her for me. And I was like, hell no. I remember going up to him and being no. That's not our feelings. That's not the emotion on my end. Second of all, like, I wasn't the nicest about it because he, like, was nonstop talking about me to everyone, where I hate, like, when it gets involved with work, when I have people coming up to me being like, this man will not stop talking about you. And actually, I started dating you when this guy still liked me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the one guy that when I took you to my work and we, like, had food and he, like, walked up into the bathroom and, like, watched us.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was him. You knew that. I told you about him.
I don't know if I knew the full story.
Yeah, it was because of that, where it was like we were spending a lot of time at open mic together. He stopped going to open mic once I brought you.
Really?
Yeah, where it was like, and I remember we had like a trip for our work too, and the whole time he's talking about me, and then he's complaining that I'm not talking to him, and where it was like to the point where I feel bad. It was his heart, like, and I didn't mean to lead him on or make him feel a certain way or make him feel anything like that. But on the other hand, like, it like sometimes it's like I learned from that experience, because I've always felt that way, where then I thought to myself, like, well, I would never want that girlfriend to think it was because of me.
Well, I guess at the very least, he took his foot off the ground before he took the next step.
100%. You know what? That's a good way of looking at it. At least he did that. But still, I always feel bad.
That's not common. I feel like it's more common for, like, people to, like, feel sure about a decision before, at least, like, his first reaction after talking to you that night was, okay, break up with his girlfriend. So.
Yeah. And also, frankly, I have self-awareness where when I was single, I was friends with a lot of guys, but I was very flirty. Like, I've always been really bubbly and nice and flirty, where, like, I remember, like, I've even had to have, like, my old best friend, not friends with her anymore, but, like, my old best friend and her boyfriend, like I remember his guy friends would be like, I think Catie likes me. I think Catie likes me. And then literally her boyfriend would be like, no, that's literally her personality. Yeah, that's how she is. She's not interested in you.
Literally, Steph told me about that. She's like, yeah, Katie's very touchy. Like, she...
Yeah, I laugh, and I am. Like, that's why people think I'm Italian, too, is because I'm very, like... because I talk with my hands, and I'm very, like... touchy. Like, I've had people physically tell me that, where they're like, I feel like you are because of your features and because you talk with your hands and you're loud, and, like, you're so, like, touchy and flirty and, like, outgoing, like, the way that you are. But yeah, I've always, like, I remember, like, I've always been that way. Yeah. So maybe not so much anymore. I've grown out of it. Yeah. I feel like the touchiness and that to a certain extent, again, like, if I get any sort of feeling, I instantly black out and become a bitch. Like I'm very much like that, you know. I'm not like, no one's pouring my shots besides my man and me. Like, like, I'm very much like that. Also, I used to be a bartender, so I feel like it's very easy for me to just, like, do my own drinks or order whatever I want, because, like, it's typically, like, when we have people over at our house, I'm typically the one making everything, you know. But on the other hand, I definitely used to have that past, so I mean, poor guy. But genuinely, like, I've always had that mindset where it was just like, I have been on the other side. I've been the one cheated on, you know, and it broke me, you know, it tore me up so much that, like, I would never, ever do that to someone else, you know, on both ends, either being the girl or, like, our relationship. Like, it crushed me, you know. That's so wrong. So, and the Bible says you can't do it, so I don't.
You're so cute. You're not joking. You're serious. But actually, though, it's like, that's a.
Sorry, this is a deep podcast, guys.
No, it's good. The podcast is good. That topic is so shitty. Like. There's just so much you can say about that. It's there's some shitty people out there, and a lot of people, like, it's crazy how people don't see the wrong in it, or, like, think, you know, I feel like the world's just getting more and more corrupt.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just going down a path of, I don't know. I feel like there's a dynamic where in the world you have deep connection and pleasure, where it's like the more we seek pleasure, the more we lose the deep connection.
Yeah.
But, like, if you pursue deep connection, that's why people like immediate gratification or pleasure. They chase that. It's shallow, but it feels good right now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny how, like, everything that's talked about in the Bible is, like, reversed of what, like,
everyone does,
and what, like, instinctually feels right, you know, like, on the surface, like, what feels good, like eating candy feels good. You know, it's just like But you're not going to sit there and eat a whole bowl of it unless it was my episode 70 and JJ brought a whole bowl in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that wasn't a whole bowl. It was literally a
pockets
big
full.
bucket.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Huge.
Yeah, he brought the huge bucket in. But
a huge Halloween bucket.
But either way, it's just like going after, and it's just like everything's addicting too. Like anything that people can get addicted to anything. People can get addicted to eating toilet paper. What's that fucked show that people used to watch?
My Strange Addiction,
Yeah,
I think.
the fuck. It's gross. But like,
fuck?
you could literally get addicted to anything. People can get addicted to working out.
And I think the issue is like, it's wrong. But on the other hand, it's because there's an underlying issue that isn't being presented to, and an underlying sadness that needs to be figured out.
Yeah, you're trying to fill in a void.
Yeah.
You're trying to fill in gaps.
Yeah, because even if I look at something and I think it's disgusting, or like, why, how could you do that? Like, it's more of looking at a place of like, they just must really be going through it. You know, that's so hard.
I feel like that's the way that the Bible kind of talks about it. And like, call it what you want, the universe, God, Jesus, whatever you want to say. I feel like that's the way that whatever word you want to use, whatever terminology you want to use, sees you, where they don't look at, just for this example, it's going to be easier. I know a lot of people aren't into this, but like call it sin, or like making a mistake, or picking the wrong thing, or like picking, like, you know, say you choose sexual pleasure. The way that, or at least in the Bible, portrays that, you know, God and the universe looks at you is they're not looking at you for the acts you've done. They're looking into you for what's the damage that's there, what's missing, and the void you're trying to fill. Because it talks about all mistakes, all sin is all like, not, there's no one that is worse than the other. It's all just sin. And it's like they look at you for who you are, and like if you're trying to fill a void, because you could fill a void with anything, like eating toilet paper or whatever the fuck your addiction is. Just all it is just trying to fill a void.
And also think of it that way too, where whenever you are on a kick of something, where you're addicted to something, it even can be like not a life thing. It could just be, you know, I went through spurts where I would play Sims 24/7 nonstop. Like, just because I liked the idea of creating my person and having this life and having this career and like being able to decorate my apartment, or, you know, like it's like a way of getting out of reality. And you can easily get addicted to something, but think about normally when you're going through that period of your life, you're typically like holding yourself back and getting off the path that you originally were on. And then the moment you get out of it is when you're like, wow, I accomplished all this stuff in a day and life's doing good and blah, blah, blah. And then the moment something goes wrong, then you're back to the addiction. Yep. And then typically in those moments of the addiction, you don't feel your best. You feel horrible. You feel sulky. You feel sad. You feel depressed. You feel anxious. But in a way, you're enjoying yourself because you're distracted or with whatever you're doing. And then you keep feeling worse because you're doing this and you're spending all this time doing whatever, that then you just keep doing it because you feel so horrible. You know, it's like it's literally like an endless cycle. Yep.
Yeah. And it's like another interesting thing is you get like, you know, the stereotypical like God or angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other shoulder when you're faced with a choice. It's interesting how like...
Are you bringing up the TikTok I watched last night?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to explain it?
Because I was going to say it. I was waiting for you. But no, it's okay. You can bring it up. But I just wasn't sure if that's the route you were going because of the video I watched.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got tired of playing Stardew Valley, so I just started scrolling on TikTok and just stayed by the bed while he played. And I was just like watching TikToks on my For You page, and one of them was about like a girl explaining the God and devil dynamic and how things are. Yeah, you can say it. Really it's okay. Good.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You. I've talked too much.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
This is your episode.
Yeah, but you're the host.
Yeah, I'm hosting you, so please be my
No.
guest.
My gosh. Okay, so basically what the TikTok was about the devil and the God dynamic. And basically before you go into a decision, before you go into it, God is like a father. He's very telling you like, don't do that. That's not good if you do that. Don't go in and make that decision. I think you should make this decision. Like, it's kind of like your intuition telling you like, maybe that's not a good decision.
Sorry. I just want to say also, if you're getting steered away by the God and the devil talk, either way, you can't deny there's voices in your head. Either way, when you're making a decision, you're hearing voices. Even if you want to call it your own, like, you can hear your own voice in your head saying, should I do that? Should I not? Or like the process of thought is literally this.
Yeah.
The process of making a decision is literally this. So if that's the way you want to look at it, that's totally fine, and we can go that route. But the process
I'm just
of
gonna speak from
like
what I
ping
believe in.
ponging an idea in your mind, like making the decision is basically this. So we're using the terminology,
and I'm just explaining it the way that TikTok did.
Yep, yeah.
So that's how I'm explaining.
So I just wanted to
too.
do that to make it relevant for people that aren't religious.
Yeah. So I just think of it as like, I'm saying God and devil, but think of it as just like good and bad, like just whatever.
Making choices.
Yeah. But your God is just telling you that thing's kind of like a father figure. But when you think of that stuff too, maybe it's more stern. Maybe it's more where you're like, oh, that's a little harsh. Kind of like you're thinking of it that way, like think of when a parent's telling you like, I don't think you should go outside. I don't think you should do this. It's like the same concept. And then the devil is the one that's like, just one time, it should be fine. Like it's just me on this big earth. Like, what would matter if I gossip about this person? What would matter if I, did this one thing, if I went and hooked up with this one person, or like thinking like stuff like that, like telling you like this one time, or I'm just so little, like it'll be fine. Like when you're rationalizing for things, that's the devil telling you. And then the moment you make the decision,
I've been so good for so long.
Yes, and the moment you make the one decision where typically you gave in to the devil, you gave in to the bad thoughts. The bad necessarily
Hopefully,
isn't
typically not.
bad, yeah. But and you make that one decision, or you have that one time, or you do whatever, then the thoughts from the devil are basically telling you like, wow, now you're going to be doing that forever. Like everyone's going to hate you. You just made the worst decision of your entire life. Now your life is ruined. Like it's telling you all this stuff to bring you down. It's trying to keep you in that low level to make you spiral. It's telling you like, well, you did it once. You're going to keep doing it again. Now you have to keep doing it again. You just gave in once. You just left all that out. Like you just made a mistake. Like now you're ruined forever. Like it's making everything sound like
the roles are flipping.
Yes. And then God,
after the action.
Yes. And then God's the one that's telling you like, you're better than this. Everything will be okay. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like
you can get out of this.
You can get out of this. Like everything will end up okay, and it's crazy to know that God's the one telling you not to do it, and then if you disobey him, or I'm sorry to bring it up to religion, but like this is just how I think, this is just how I feel, but like
good.
And then if you disobey him, which we typically do, he's the one that's forgiving you. He's the one that's typing you up, telling you everything will be fine. You'll be okay. You're safe. This does not define you. This decision does not define you. It does not define who you are. You will grow from it. You will learn from it. Like, is the one making you feel good. And then the devil's the one that you make the decision that's based off of what he told you and you cave in. And then the devil's the one that's bringing you down, talking crap to you. Yeah. Like telling you like you're worthless and you're ugly and like telling you all this stuff,
You're going to be stuck here. You'll be doing this forever, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, exactly.
When in the beginning, when you're making the decision, the devil plays the friend card where he's like, oh, like it's just, don't worry, I'm here for you kind of thing. Like, make this decision. You deserve it. You've earned it. You've been doing good. It's okay if you make a mistake. It's okay if you slip up. And God's the one playing the stern like father, where it's more appealing when you're faced with a decision. It's more appealing to do that pleasure side, because it's like the devil's playing that friend card, like, don't worry, it's going to be okay, just this once. It's more appealing to say, like, you've been doing so good, you can slip up, it's okay, kind of thing. And then God's seems to be like the more judgmental side, where it's like, you're not supposed to do this kind of thing. So it's less appealing, because that side, like, looking at it from an objective standpoint, you're sitting there faced with these two decisions. one side makes you feel bad, one side makes you feel good. Where it's the one side makes you feel guilty. Like, faced with God's decision, it's like, I feel guilty for even sitting here looking at these two. And then the devil's side, it's like, okay, well, like, it's more acceptable because I've been so good, or you know, I can slip up this one time, it's totally fine. A more comforting decision, if that makes sense. And then the second you make that mistake, then it's like, yeah, the roles completely flip, where it's like, now the devil's sitting there making you feel bad about yourself. You're sitting there, you make a decision that you knew you weren't supposed to make, you did anyways, and now you're sitting there like, fuck, I knew I wasn't supposed to do that, now I feel like a piece of shit. And that's the devil talking. But then that's being drowned out, but the roles are being flipped. And it's funny how you always want to listen to that demon. You know, I don't know what it is about that, but that voice seems to be louder.
It does, yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird, and it doesn't take a lot. It's like sugar. It's literally like sugar. It's like, it doesn't take a lot, but it stands out. You know, you can have a whole cup full of coffee with a tablespoon of sugar, and that's too much, and it sweetens the whole fucking cup.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good analogy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a giant, like, you're not putting a cup full, like, could you even imagine a 50% mixture? Like, there is, it doesn't take a lot of sugar, but that voice seems to be louder.
Yeah.
It tastes louder.
And I mean, I always try and approach every day as like a reset button, basically, where, like, yes, coming from like a religious standpoint, but yeah, you might have read the Bible like 3 days ago, you know, and there's nothing wrong with people who don't read the Bible or anything. Everyone's on their own journeys. I don't want to steer anyone away from religion either, but what works best for me and what I'm learning is, yeah, I might have really connected with Psalms or Proverbs 3 days ago, but if I don't continue reading the Bible every single day, reminding myself to my morning prayer every single morning, or pray before I eat every single day, and I have those slip ups, you know, obviously I'm forgiven, and like I learn from it, and I'm like, shoot, I totally like stopped doing it for a little bit, but I've learned that when I don't do that, it's like, then you start to hear those voices a lot more, then I start to think a lot more negatively, then I start to feel like the littlest things make the world feel like it's ending. And sometimes, even recently, I'm gonna be completely honest, I had some resentment towards God. Like, I really did. Like, it's something that I'm even fighting through right now, but it's not anything personal to God. It's something where I know that it's just something building up inside me that's just, you know, like, I saw this TikTok and it talked about this, but it was basically saying, when you read the Bible, you're locking your door. When you read the Bible and you're doing that think of every single day before you leave the house, you're locking your door. You're making sure the oven's turned off. You're doing your daily check every single day. When you forget to lock your door, someone can break in. So when you're not locking your door, it's like, basically the devil was like, I can come in.
Yep.
And you don't even realize it. He's hiding in your closet. He's hiding underneath your bed. He's hidden. You don't know that he's there, but you keep hearing those negative thoughts. You keep feeling those negative emotions. You keep having that resentment. Then you start to think like, damn, like, how come, like, I just don't want to listen to, like one of my worship songs came up on my Spotify and I'm like, ugh, skip, you know? And that's something so small that you don't even think about it. But then it's like later on, you're like, that's so unlike me. Like,
and
what
then
is
you're
happening?
listening to Christmas music about wanting to fuck Santa.
Basically. Yeah, you know, then I just noticed that, you know, and then when I go to try and open up my Bible too, then I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I don't even really want to read this. I feel like I don't really understand it. And I keep telling myself that stuff of like, man, I just don't understand it right now. I just don't, like, I just can't get into it. I just can't read this. I just can't, you know, and those are how and the difference is your thoughts are what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it's your feeling. Like, it's your thoughts in your head that, like, I just want people to know or to think, like, it's not where it's coming, like, if you're not religious, from a religious standpoint, it's not like I'm hearing in my head, like, from a third point of view. Right. It's never that. It's literally like, you're just feeling your emotions. Like, it's what you're feeling. But then it's when you realize it and you're like, like basically you realize, wait, that's not me. Like it is me, but it's not me.
Yeah.
Like, this is so unlike me. Like, I have been so miserable. I have been so snippy. I have been so like, just not myself, and
your choices and your actions are you, but your mind is a battleground.
It is.
It literally life
and it's from your point of view.
Yep.
It's not even like a fight back and forth where it's like you got this deep voice and then you have this voice no, it's like it's all you. It's an inner battle with yourself, and it's all from your point of view, and it's all from your thoughts, where it's literally you fighting for yourself. Like, I want to see a movie. It's a musical. It's a religious musical. It's a Journey to Bethlehem. It's about when Mary has Joseph has Jesus, baby Jesus. But she's the Virgin Mary. She's a virgin. She didn't do anything. And at that time, that was very frowned upon to get pregnant before marriage. And she's literally already set up to get married with Joseph, and she gets pregnant. They're not married yet, so they haven't done anything. So that's why it's such a big thing and a big story.
And the struggle that Joseph has to go
yes,
through.
And one of the songs is really good. That I listened to it.
Just thinking about that though, like from a man's perspective, that would fucking piss me off.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck.
Yeah, and so I saw the scene of the song that I really like that's from Joseph's point of view, but actually in the musical they have, like, when I was listening to it, I thought he was just like back and forth, but in the musical it's like the scene of it is actually Joseph in black and Joseph in white. So it's him. There's two of him, and he's fighting himself in his thoughts, speaking from his point of view, talking to himself nonstop, basically saying, like, the one side of him saying, like, I need proof that she didn't get pregnant from someone else. I need to leave her. Everyone's telling me I need to leave her. How can I trust her? How can I? And then the other part of him, which is the
louder voice.
Yes. And then the other part of him is very like, but I love her. But when I look at her and when she talks to me, I know she's speaking the truth.
Yeah.
And then there's that other side of him literally telling him, but how do you know she's speaking the truth? Like playing devil's advocate, like fighting with himself, But that's how it is in your mind, is it's all from your point of view. Like, I literally will, maybe this is why I talk to myself out loud sometimes, because I'm like, what was it? I was talking to, actually, I had a client yesterday, sorry, but this is kind of a part of it. I had a client yesterday and she showed up and I was doing her hair and makeup, and typically her mom's with her, but she wasn't. But when she texted me, I thought she said, we're on our way. So when she walked over and she walked in, I was like, oh, is your mom not here? Like, is it? And she's like, no, it's just me. And I was like, oh, I thought you texted that we were on our way. So I thought maybe someone dropped you off and your mom was going to be with you. And she went, no, I drove. And then she sat there and she went, maybe it's just from me and my multiple personalities that I just put we're as a group. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's just me, myself, and I, that you just put we arrived, like kind of thing. I think that's funny, but it's definitely from that point of view where it's like you're literally fighting with yourself. It's not, in the back of your head, like, okay, this is God and this is the devil. Like, this is Satan. This is little Lucifer creeping in, his little ugly ass. But on the other hand, I watch a lot of TikToks that have people say stuff like that. So I say stuff like that because I claim that he's ugly funny and gross and annoying and no one loves him.
Yeah, it's probably absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, he's just a big bully.
If freaking angels are horrifying looking according to the Bible, then what does the devil look like? Fuck.
Yeah.
If the angels come down and say, don't worry, don't be afraid, it's okay, I'm an angel, and they have to calm humans down because they look so...
I think the opposite. I think that God and angels are just who they are. They are just who they are. And that's why they come down and they have to be like, don't be afraid. I think they're like from out of this world scary. Like, if one approached you, you're like, the hell. Right. Like, what are you? Get away from me kind of thing. And they have to... But they give that calming presence of like, don't be afraid kind of thing.
Oh, and you think...
But Lucifer, Satan, he's a sly guy.
So you think they're attractive.
Yes.
Temptation.
Not that I think that he's attractive, but it's... Yeah, like he lures people and he promises, I can give you all the gold and all this in the world if you sell your soul. I can do this, this, and you. He makes everything look very attractive. He makes everything look very beautiful. He's very much into Hollywood, into making everyone want to be about themselves and to have highness and have celebrities where people are crying over when
everybody
they meet
looks
them.
up to celebrities. Yeah.
Yes.
Puts more,
Where I wouldn't be surprised if he freaking shows up and he's a like sly guy with a nice smile and stuff. He's ugly. He's ugly. Don't get me wrong. He's ugly. But on the other hand, like the way that he is, like God doesn't have to do any of that. He just lets you be and is there for you, and he wins in the end. But the devil, he's gotta rank his numbers before his time's up. You know, he's gotta look beautiful and present the part to get as many people. He's a salesman. He's a salesman. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. He's gotta get those numbers up, you know.
Give out those presents and climb down your chimney.
Yeah, basically. Yep.
Yeah, waiting for you to take that one.
No, when you keep bringing it up, you can take it.
No, you know more. You're better at explaining that.
No.
Like, the whole Christmas thing. It's like, first of all, it's like, it's got this like nice package of being a religious holiday that everybody thinks about, but all the underlying things point to this satanic holiday. It's like, because Jesus wasn't.
And don't get us wrong, it's not satanic where it's like, you know, pelagrams or whatever, like the star that witches have. Pentagrams. Yeah. I don't even know what they're called. Pentagrams.
I'm not even sure if that's what it is. I'm pretty sure because it's got the 5 points, right?
I think so.
I don't know. Penta is 5. But either way, it's like, yeah, because you've done more research, so I'll let you take it, but I'll start off just with like Jesus wasn't even born on Christmas. Oh God, get that out of here. But he wasn't even born on Christmas. He was born in like the spring or summer, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, like, no, I don't think anyone literally knows for sure, but true. From all of the writings of
when Mary was pregnant,
and everything, they're linking it to. I don't know. We were reading about this, and like I don't fully know anything. I have to do more research because the Bible's so thick that like you don't. I mean, who knows? Yeah. There's a lot to read. There's a lot of stuff in depth too that you have to read to even understand the concept. But a lot of people are thinking that it's from spring and summer is when he's born. Just
a side note: I had a Audible version of the Bible, and it was literally like 76 hours.
Damn.
But I don't use that anymore.
No.
I just
you just listen to the Holy Bible app, or you.
Yep. Yeah, because it's cool. Because it can. It's basically Audible. Yeah, you can just play it, just like Audible. It's
the only thing I wish you could do on it, because I listen to it when I drive. Sorry, is I wish you could rewind it. Like a certain passage.
It goes back a whole verse.
Yeah, like it literally will just go to the beginning. Yeah. And sometimes if I get a phone call or something, it'll just restart to the beginning. And I'm like, oh. Or like if I heard something good and I'm like, oh, that really spoke to me. And I can't.
Yeah, there's no like 15-second
I can't like click or like even if I just click the sentence or something. Like even if I just was able to go back like a certain sentence, maybe it might not stop exactly where I want it to, but it's enough where it's close. You know, not where it starts all the way from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, and then frickin' the whole concept of Santa Claus dressed in red.
Yeah.
And he climbs down your chimney and gives you everything you asked for. With the naughty and nice list. The list of who
sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
Yeah, exactly. Knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. But I think that's just
a cover.
A cover. Yeah. I think it's just a cover to spread that because it's literally Santa, which is the same letters as Satan.
Yeah.
Sneaking into your house, you know, easily, with ease. He can just sneak into your house and give you all these promises, give you everything that he wants, all this earthly stuff. But he's always watching. I don't know. It's just like, it's pretty fucking
eerie. It's eerie. It just, and the fact that it's Santa, those are literally the same letters as Satan.
Yeah.
Like they made it so obvious. They just jumbled up a couple letters and they were like, this is good. We'll just make him white with a white beard and a big hefty man and everyone's going to trust him.
Like Miley Cyrus's new cover album.
What?
Album cover.
What?
You showed me where you're just like, come on, like, can't you try to cover it up a little bit? Or
are you talking about the Drake dog?
No, like the Miley Cyrus thing you were telling me about.
Oh, it wasn't an album cover. She just posted a photo.
Oh.
And everyone was commenting like, girl, can you make it any more obvious that you're like a part of the Illuminati? Like she literally just did like the one hand and she was wearing like a red glove or something. It was like something, if people know, like if they've read into the Illuminati.
I don't at all, but
yeah, it's like basically like you see no evil. Like you're not like, as in like, I know it sounds like you see no evil as in like you don't participate, but you do. It's like you're covering your eye, like you're hiding things. Like it's
implying that you're involved, but you like it's hard to explain. You're involved, but you don't see it as, I don't know. That's weird.
It's weird. Before we talk about it, we have to do more research.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to talk about stuff in depth like that if I don't know fully.
You're totally right.
But it was more like, also I got that vibe when I saw the post, and trust me, like this is so bad, but like I've listened to Miley Cyrus. I like grew up on Miley Cyrus. I loved her. I saw her in concert, but I still followed her. Yeah. But on the other hand, I lost my train of thought. It's the devil. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, they're covering us.
Literally. But yeah, it was more like I just saw the post and everyone was commenting too, like, girl, you could make it any more obvious. But anyways, yeah. But also the other thing is like, number one, and we've talked about this, but like all of the romantic songs about Santa, like wanting to basically like
fuck Santa.
Yeah. Which also is against the Bible.
Yeah.
Sex before marriage.
Yeah, literally.
It's a sin. But like that's such a big thing. Also adultery, he's married.
Yeah.
Going after a married man.
Yeah,
he's
literally.
Mr. Claus.
Yeah.
Mrs. Claus.
Yep.
And yeah, and everyone just wants to get it on with Santa.
And also Claus, the fuck?
Claus.
Rare.
That's true.
The fuck?
Rare. Yeah. That's just weird. Santa Claus. Satan Claus.
Yeah.
Satan's got his claws on you.
Yeah.
When you're celebrating Christmas. No.
Yeah,
but also another thing, you showed me that TikTok, which I've heard about this concept too, but like also when like you literally have your kids and you train them and you lie to them that Santa's real, which down the line, they're going to find out Santa isn't real and they're going to know you were lying to them.
The whole time, yeah.
The whole time.
Yep.
Which also, no matter what, breaks a little bit of trust. Like, it's so common, so a lot of people do it. Like, I don't look down on
it's
any
socially
parent that does
acceptable,
it.
so everybody just follows the line.
Yes.
Follows the leader.
Yes. I don't look at any parent who does it. My parents did it, you know? But when I look back, like, I'll tell the little story. I know I told it to you, but like, when I look back to when I found out Santa wasn't real, number one, I had one boy in my class that kept telling me Santa's not real. And I was like, square up with him. Because I'm like, my parents tell me Santa's real. I've seen him eat the cookies.
You believe
I've
them?
seen the gifts with Santa on. I'm like, I know he's real. I'm like getting worked up. Like, I'm about to cry.
Yeah.
Even
You're led to believe you got... Yeah. You literally fight and defend this belief.
Because
that you
also I
believe
trust
is right.
my parents.
Yeah.
And they're telling me he is.
It's a belief system.
They're giving me letters that say from Santa.
Yeah, exactly. So you're establishing this child's life off the bat with a lie.
Yeah, and also think too down the road, like you can't keep everything forever. Like also not only
wait, Santa's not real?
You can't keep everything in. Yeah, if you have kids around, please don't have them listen to this part. No. Please turn off the podcast.
No, they're not listening to this podcast. I literally said fuck Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's true. But I just feel like see, this is it. I swear to you, it's the devil. I swear, because I have been on one this whole podcast. I have been so good. And then the moment we're talking about this stuff, my brain's like blah, 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 blah.
Yep. Yeah, static.
Going away.
Yeah, just trying to make noise, white noise.
Like what?
Trying to get in the way. Yeah. No, but
it's subtle things like that that you don't think about. But it's like, why have I been fine all day? And then the moment we're talking about this, my brain keeps drawing blanks.
Yeah. Literally. But either way, you got this belief system that you're raised with and you fight for it. Like, no, he's real. My parents told me and I got these facts. So you're like, you believe in it. You fight for it. And then all of a sudden, you just get that stripped away from you and you find out that this whole idea that I've been fighting for and defending was a lie.
And you're teaching your kids to lie to each other too, because if you have more than one kid and the one kid finds out, sometimes some parents just have it where like the whole family knows, but then other parents will have it where they'll tell the oldest, don't tell the youngest one. Don't we need to keep this a secret. We need
Lying
to keep
is
them.
Good.
Yeah, that you're teaching them not to, which also will lead to them keeping secrets from you because they were taught secret keeping is okay in the family.
Right.
If it's under reason, if it's under, well, this is why we do it.
Yeah, as long as it's justified, it's okay to lie.
Yeah, and also what I was saying is we can't keep everything forever, as in like, you know, lie after lie after lie. It's gonna slip out sometime anyways. Like the way that I found out was literally, I love my dad, and he was so sweet to be putting my razor scooter together, and I was so excited, and I was out in the garage like I always was. If he was cleaning his motorcycle bike or something, I always was out in the garage with him. And so I'm watching him put this razor scooter together, and he just says, I'm never buying a piece of shit off eBay like this, because it was eBay, not Amazon. Amazon, I don't even think it was around during that time, but he was like, I'm never buying a piece of shit like this off eBay ever again. And he did it out of frustration. He was really angry at what was going on. Like he could not get something to work, or he just couldn't figure something out, and he just got so frustrated, especially when you have your little girl right there being like, I want to ride my razor scooter, you know, like, you know, all excited, like being like, I probably was asking him like, Dad, is it done? Dad, is it done? Is it done yet? Is it done? Yeah, I probably was being so annoying that he's like, this fucking piece of shit better work. Losing his mind on a Saturday day, like just waiting for me to go back to school. But so that's how I found out, was my dad saying something like that, and I didn't even say anything. I literally left, and then my mom's like making dinner, and she goes to call up the stairs thinking I'm in my bedroom to be like, hey, dinner's done, like, you know, and she just sees little sad Catie in elementary school sitting on the top step with her hands in her head. I vividly remember all of this, and my mom's like, the fuck? So she like goes up the stairs. Also, this is so funny because my parents did not swear around us. That was the one time my dad actually did too. So that's how I know he was really frustrated with the scooter, because he grew up on a Navy ship where he heard so much swearing, where he was very big on like, I am not swearing around the kids, like swearing's not good, like there's so many other words in the language and like literally the dictionary that you can use over swear words, kind of thing, like they're just dirty. But so my mom goes up the stairs and she's just like, hey, what's wrong? And I'm just like, I know. And she's like, what do you know? And I'm like, I know Santa isn't real. And I was like, I was so sad about it. Like it was like, it's like someone died. Like I was so like, as a kid, it's like, what else is a lie? What else is, you know, like you think that way, where I just remember it being so disappointing. And the way that I found out, where it's like, why was I lied to? Why is this not real? You know, like,
why was that okay?
Yes, exactly. And I just remember telling my mom that, and I wasn't even mad at my dad or my mom. It was more of like the concept of it. Like I wasn't mad that my dad got frustrated and said that out of anger. Like I wasn't mad at my dad for that. It was more of like the way that I found out and the fact that I was lied to. That was like, the heck, you know? And then also, this sounds so bad, but like when you have a kid and you are trying to, let alone me, where my birthday is 5 years before Christmas, 5 years, oh my gosh, 5 days before Christmas, I get a lot of like combined gifts, or like get a lot of like, this is your birthday and your Christmas present kind of thing. And that's like the one question everyone always asks me when they hear about my birthday. They're like, oh, you get a lot of combined gifts, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do. It's fine, but whatever. I've dealt with it my whole life. It's fine. It's whatever. But,
sore subject.
Yeah, it is. Because my birthday happens every single year at the same time.
Really? It's fucking weird.
Yeah, fucking weird. So I draw a blank again.
Sorry.
No, it's not you. I swear, it's an inner battle in my head right now. I'm like, I know it's because we're talking about a sore subject right now, and not even just with me, like with the man down there. He's getting really upset right now, so he's turning off my mind. He's filling it with static.
Maybe that's good, because that means maybe he knows that this is going to reach a lot of people, and the podcast is going to be big.
Yeah. So then, gosh. What was I going to say? Oh, so when you have kids and you have Santa, you have the idea of Santa, what do? You get their Christmas list and you try and buy as much as you can from that Christmas list and put Santa's name on it because they were good this year and you want them to feel like they were good this year. So you buy them like 4 or 5 gifts from their list and you put Santa on it, and then you buy a gift from like mom and dad.
Yep.
So then when Santa's gone, at least I experienced this. I don't know if other people did, and I love my parents, but like once Santa's gone, well then also so do all those gifts. So then you just get the mom and dad one.
Yep.
You know, like my mom tried to spoil us all the time, but then on top of it, it was more of like she already gifted us so much from the mom and dad standpoint and Santa, you know, that it was like, you know, you feel like that whole just like it's like the magic of Christmas just like goes away when the magic isn't from Santa. The magic of Christmas is just the holiday of being with family and it being a joyous time. And honestly, I think it's just invented just to get rid of seasonal depression. To have something during the snow seasons and during the sad part
That's
of time.
why Thanksgiving is the best holiday ever to exist. Not only because I was born on it, but also because it's like Christmas except without the greediness.
Yeah. Literally.
It's awesome. You get to spend time with family and eat a great
Or
meal.
I feel like without the expectation.
Yeah. Also, I was thinking about it too, just the fact that children are comfortable with sleeping knowing that some big creepy man snuck into their house while they're sleeping, dropping off presents
Yeah.
and eating cookies and milk. Like, that's fucking weird, growing up being comfortable with break-ins.
And then being told, stranger danger, don't talk to strangers, don't trust strangers, lock your doors.
Yeah, even if it's a mental comfort where it's like, it's okay to have demons in your house. You know, you're growing up believing that it's okay that there's someone unknown, some foreign object, some foreign life in your house while you're asleep. You grow up being comfortable with that. Not just comfortable, but excited for it. And then you get rewarded for it because you wake up and then you look under the tree and there's a huge stack of presents under the tree and it's so exciting.
Yeah.
But like, and then all of a sudden that gets stripped away from you. So you grow up, that's comfortable. And then you get that stripped away from you, that everything you thought was a lie. And now you start questioning everything. And the whole system is just rigged to...
The tooth fairy isn't real. The Easter bunny isn't real. Like, it's just like all of that stuff. It's like, why do we even have that? Like, if your kid was brave and pulled his tooth out, then just give him money and give it to him for his bravery.
Yeah, the whole societal construct is geared towards making you not religious. Because then you start questioning, who's this other guy then? Jesus Christ? Who's this guy? He must not be real either, that my parents tell me about.
I don't see him. I don't know
exactly.
him. I don't see proof.
Exactly. Yeah, you're just like steered, you know, you just get that all stripped away from you. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, who's this guy then? Is he any different? You know, so you start questioning that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you start off your children with this lie, this concept of lying, that it's okay. And then after that's stripped from them, then they start questioning everything, and then they start rebelling when in their teens and on. But you started them off on a lie, and that's how their trust in you was founded.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's right or wrong.
If like your kids are being creative and your kids are making up, like they read a book and they're envisioning something, or they're being creative and they have an imaginary best friend or something, like definitely boost their creativity and be like, go along with it and be like, oh, where'd they go? Like if the kid is imagining it and the kid's being creative, that's different. But it's when the parent is telling them of something that's real, that's real in quotations. That's true. That's where a line gets drawn. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I guess that's a tricky subject too. I guess it would be, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be good or not to play along with them, but also, I guess crossing a line would be like saying decisions for the imaginary friend. Like, hey, does this person want it too, or whatever? Or like, yeah, if you want to be like, that's cute or whatever, fine. But like playing along might cater towards a lie too.
I feel like in my head though, kids' creativity is so fragile. Yep. And their decision making is so fragile that's where the softness comes from. Where like even little things that might have been warranted at the time when they were kids, they grow up as adults and it's in their daily life where they apologize all the time, or they think someone's mad at them all the time, or they feed into things. Like even with me, like I'm gonna be completely honest, like air my own personal stuff out, but like my parents did whatever they could for us, and they truly did whatever they could, and they did love me and my brother, but they were very quick to yell at us, very quick to judge, very quick to snap. My dad was very quick to snap, never laid a hand on us. Oh my gosh, no. But he would get angry really quickly, like he'd be very like, like some days I could run over him and give him a hug and talk to him about something and he'd have a great day. And some days he'd walk through the door and I'd hug him and I'd start talking about school or something and he'd be overwhelmed and he'd be like, you cannot come up to me when I first walk in through the door. But when you're a kid, you're like, that's so unpredictable. Like some days he's like, how come you didn't come hug me? And some days he's snapping at me because I came to hug him, and that was from his own stuff. And like, I am very close with my dad. I don't want to make him sound like he was any sort of way or a bad father or anything. He was an amazing father. And he apologized for a lot, but the inconsistency and the snapping and the, like when I was a kid and I was always clumsy. So like if I accidentally spilled a cup, like being able to just wipe it up and tell your kid, like I know it was an accident. So next time, just make sure that you're looking at your surroundings, like,
that's different.
Being able to do that with your kid and, not snapping at them or being mad at them. And I just feel like if it comes to their creativity standpoint, I would hate to make the kids feel like they're wrong or feel like they're feel like they can't be creative.
Right.
You know?
That's not where I was getting at. You want to be patient with them and allow them to make mistakes and explain to them instead of snapping at them. But you also don't want to coddle them. And there's a fine line there. You don't want to build this brick wall around them to try to make them safe and protect them from any harm or protect them from getting yelled at or loud noises. You don't want to protect them from, they have to see that side of life because they're going to either way. It's inevitable when you're dealing with humans and growing up. And if you coddle them, then they're going to break. Either way, like you need to break them down. We get broken down every day when we grow up and go to work and do our stuff. And it's going to be a hell of a lot better to have them mature and grow as children than it is to coddle them all the way up until like they're out on their own or you pass away and die or whatever it is. It's gonna be a hell of a lot better than to have them discover that on their own where they can't handle anything. They get out into the real world and they, you know what I mean? They have a mental breakdown because their boss was frustrated with them and yelled at them and they come home crying because at 20 years old and they come home crying because their boss yelled at them.
No, I don't think it was more about the creative stance though. Right. It's not about that because obviously like being able to be upfront with your kid and have them defend themselves and have them know like not everyone's going to be this way, It's more about creating the home as a safe space, but letting the kids know like when they step out that door, whether for school or anything, like for like they'll still have real life incidents with another kid or something where if a kid bullied them or like said something mean, teaching them to stand up for themselves and giving them ice cream and knowing home's a safe space, like, but knowing that like, it's my whole thing is making home the safe space, but when they go out into the real world and they do that stuff, teaching them to defend themselves. But my whole thing is I
don't like that. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't like having physical safe space. I don't like them thinking or needing a safe space. I just don't like that at all. I think
the kids are still gonna get yelled at for certain things.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm not saying that we're never gonna be able to reprimand our kids at home.
I think they need to be able to learn to again, your own terminology, but for this example, I'm gonna use the word Jesus and God. That should be your safe space. Talk to them and know that they're there with you. You're safe in your mind. That's your safe space. This earth, there is no safe space. That's what I'm getting at. Anything can happen anywhere. but know that the God or the universe is always with you.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what I believe. I think anywhere on this physical plane of existence, there is no safe space. Anything can happen at any time.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes sense. My whole thing was about what it stemmed from was about the creativity stance of the kids. And what my whole thing was I would not want it, like when you said, well, we shouldn't play along if they have like an imaginary friend or something. And number one, I remember when like my parents would play along with stuff, it made me feel heard. And those were good moments I remember from my childhood, was when my parents, not only were they my parents, but they also played with me. They also like did things with me. You know, they didn't sit there always giving me a reality check on this isn't real.
Oh no, yeah.
You know, but then on top of it, not to be like creepy, but also like this stuff could happen if we move into a new house or something. Like if our kids saying like about their imaginary friend, we also can't tell them they're not real, because what if we don't know if they're actually an imaginary friend or like a ghost or something?
Yeah.
You know, like we have to be able to
That's
listen
true.
to our kids, because even if it is an imaginary friend and nothing else is tied to it, they're going to grow up, and later on for some reason that's going to stem from when their parents always told them that isn't real, or made it obvious, you know, not being harsh, but like we just laughed it off. And then they start
suppressing their own thoughts.
And feelings, and they feel like they can't speak up, and they feel like they can't talk, and they're never heard, or they're going to go look for attention somewhere else where other parents will understand them better.
Yeah, like, well, that's not what I'm talking. I'm not talking about like putting them down or doing anything like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole concept was just the lying.
Yeah.
That's where I was getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, feeding into their creativity is huge when they're coloring. Like, I want to be 45 years old coloring with my kids. Fuck yeah. That'd be awesome. So, yeah, I want them to have a creative outlet. It's not about suppressing that, and I don't want to suppress them in any way. I want them to, I want them to grow up like feeling safe, but I don't want it to be a physical place. I don't want them to have a physical place that is safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I want them to be safe, but I don't want them to be like, I'm not safe unless I'm in my room kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I want them to feel safe everywhere because they have God on their side.
Yeah.
And they can make choices. And I've talked about this on the podcast before with different terminology, where you're safe in your mind. Mm-hmm. And you can make choices. And no matter what anybody says about what you do, you're still safe in your mind. They can't, even if it's physical pain, even if somebody's beating you, you're safe in your mind. There's a great book that talks about that too. It's Man's Search for Meaning, and I can't remember the author's name. It's going to drive me crazy. Viktor Frankl, I think. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, he was a Holocaust survivor, and he just talked about that, getting through the Holocaust in the concentration camps by knowing that they can beat him, they can starve him, and they can torture him all they want, but they can't get him in his mind.
Yeah.
That's essentially what got him through it. Because you never know what could happen in the outside world. We're all going to go through insane struggle. Everybody goes through insane struggle. And that mind, exercising your mind is crucial. You got to be mentally strong. And that's your safe space. I don't know. There's a million different ways to raise children, and we'll figure it out. Obviously, you can tell based off of the millions and billions of different sort of people that we've seen who have ever existed, and it's just like, there's so many combinations of growth and development, and, there's, I don't know if there's a right or a wrong. It's just...
No, it's all trial and error. Nothing's ever perfect.
Yep. I don't even know if it is, I guess trial and error, but like not so rigid, because you never know. You know what I mean? Or how much our decisions actually affect the development of a child. You know, I don't know. There's just so much unknown in this life. It's just a crazy world. Crazy world.
Yeah. It is.
Well, either way, I love you.
I love you.
And we will figure it out. Because we're both very smart.
Yeah.
And I love you with all my heart.
Nice rhyming. I love you. What?
I didn't even catch a rhyme.
Yeah, you said we're both very smart and I love you with all my heart.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you rhymed.
You're so cute.
You're so cute.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I don't think so. No. Pretty tapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
like I'm sitting here and I'm like, damn, I need to start going to therapy again.
Why?
Because just a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. Well, we'll end it on a good note. I love it.
Okay, also, I just want to say this. Therapy is not a bad thing
at
all. I just want to say, like, I'm a firm believer. Like, you should go to therapy even if you feel like you're the happiest person ever. Because I feel like having someone from a doctoral psychological standpoint that's done their research on certain things, even if you're so happy, they could pinpoint something where it's like, that's not a healthy coping mechanism, or it leads to something else, or they'll be able to catch certain things. And it's just nice getting a outside perspective. And like, I've heard a lot of benefits from people too, like especially me being in the wedding industry, of how many brides that are like, yeah, actually before, like while we were engaged, before we even like really planned our date and got married, we went through like marriage counseling, but like as engaged, because it sets this tone for the marriage. And sometimes you need that, like you get to a certain point where like you're both butting heads and you're not listening to each other at all, that you need that outsider to get you both out of your defensive mode.
And it gives you that outside perspective too.
Yes, that's unbiased from either person.
Yeah.
You know,
if it's a good one. Obviously use your own intuition.
Yeah.
Because there's bad therapists out there.
Oh yeah.
So
that's what Yelp reviews are for.
Reviews, yes. Yeah, definitely use your own brain. Think for yourself, and definitely get help. And that's not a negative thing. Everybody needs help. Personally, I don't, but it's something that I need to look into in the future. I think everybody at the very least, needs somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? Somebody that has an outside perspective that can give insight and can be there to talk things through. Somebody, like you said, that has a doctorate and that is intelligent, has studied, seen many cases, can understand patterns and things like that, and just know ways about why people think things, or what that might lead to. And obviously there's always going to be human bias, and it's tough to find, like,
I do feel like, though, the nice thing is there's human bias if you're talking to a friend or talking to a coworker or talking to a partner or like something like that, where there's going to be some bias in it or some personal stuff to it, where maybe like that's something you shouldn't have really said, or you should have approached it a different way. But I feel like when it's a therapist, they're a therapist because they want to make an impact on people's lives. They're studying because they want to make anyone's life better.
Right.
So they're always coming from the standpoint of wanting to make your life healthy and better.
They went into that industry to help people.
Yes,
but what is an impact in their mind? What is making an impact for them? Obviously, an impact is to do what they believe is good. Leave an impression, leave a mark, but they're leaving a mark, their own mark. So that's still biased. Either way, but I mean, I'm just nitpicking here, but you definitely want to have a good one.
Yeah.
So just be careful and be a thinker. Use that brain. Use that big 8-9 pound blob on the top of your shoulders and think for yourself. You know what's best. Use your intuition. You've talked about that. She has a great episode on that, so look back at her episodes. She's amazing. I love you very much. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
I love you. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
And check out her podcast. It's really good.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm like I ran out of my water. I'm like so dry right now. My throat hurts. No, it's okay. It's okay. That's also kind of that's kind of the reason why I got quiet too towards the end is because my throat's like raspy.
No.
It's really bad.
Well, I love you. We'll go get you some water. And thanks for coming on the podcast. You rock.
You rock. I love you.
Love you too. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. And peace out.
Out.